okay? But Matt can butt in any time, but it works on this circulation to the brain. So you're improving the supply of oxygen and glucose and to every part of your brain. And then it also is anti-inflammatory. So it's reducing some of the inflammation in your brain. And it also works on the neuronal signalling, which is the communication between brain cells and between the different regions in your brain. Okay, so it's working on many different parts of your brain at the same time.
Because exogenous, that's what they argue, because exogenous has sort of vascular.
Because these compounds are antioxidants, they improve circulation, they're anti-inflammatory. Some of the compounds get into like the hippocampus in your brain, which is a very high rate of metabolism. Some of the compounds are known to get into the hippocampus, which is where your memory works. Very, very important part of your brain structure.
So what you're saying, what we will explain to them is two key components. One's antioxidant and one's anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, but also there's the indirect effects. So improved gut permeability. So if you're...
It makes it very complicated.
Yeah.
It is. The story is not simple, and the story is not simple at this stage because when you look at exogenol, you have a multi-component flavonoid extract. There is not just one compound in exogenol. There is many different compounds in exogenol. All of those compounds are acting as antioxidants. Some of those compounds also act as anti-inflammatories. Some of those compounds also directly influence the signaling between the cells in the brain. And some of those compounds, and those are in part the same as the antioxidants, also improve the blood circulation. They improve the blood circulation in your entire body, not just in the brain, but in your entire body, because they relax your blood vessels. That's why it is good for people with high blood pressure. So there is these are like 4 components that I've now mentioned, which is the antioxidant. So why is the antioxidant important? The antioxidant is important because your brain is the organ in the body that uses the most oxygen.
Yeah.
Whenever your body uses oxygen as a byproduct of your energy production, it also creates free radicals. Those are harmful molecules that can attack other molecules and damage them. That's where the antioxidant activity is important, because it mops up those free radicals. Okay? And because the brain can only burn glucose, it cannot burn fat, it uses up a lot of oxygen all the time. So that's why the antioxidant activity is beneficial for the brain to maintain the antioxidant balance in the brain. Now, so the blood circulation is of course important for the brain, but it's also important for the rest of your body. The inflammation, the anti-inflammatory properties are very important, particularly when you have people that have either brain injuries or like brain injuries also include stroke, for example. That's also an injury to the brain. But also people with age-related cognitive decline, dementia, because in those states where the brain is actually injured, and even someone with Alzheimer's has actually got injury in the brain because of the buildup of the amyloid plaque, and that causes a lot of inflammation. So the people with the brain injuries and the dementia and the stroke, they need the anti-inflammatory activity that the exogenol also provides for the brain. And then the signaling, the signal transduction, so that is basically the 4th a great benefit of the enzogenol for the brain, and that is the benefit you see in people like children with ADHD, where the signaling between the brain regions and between the cells is not working very well. Okay, and that's enzogenols, compounds that the compounds that enter the brain, they can also help to restore some of this signaling, so that the brain different brain regions interact better with each other. Okay, and that's why enzogenol can help lift concentration and attention levels, and that's something also that happens to everybody, but you can see the effect the most in children with ADHD, where you have a real problem with the attention and the concentration. So the story is quite complicated, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 effects that this multiple mixture of compounds has in the brain, okay, and in the rest of your body. Like ginkgo, for example, you have there is basically one type of compound in there are two. There's one type, but 2 different subtypes, and they help blood circulation to the brain. That has also been shown, and is certainly also beneficial, but it does not work the same way as an anti-inflammatory. It does also not work the same way on the signal transduction. You can give a child with ADHD a lot of ginkgo, that nothing will happen. Okay, so the enzogenol does have more areas than in the brain that it can benefit and that it affects. So it is a very complicated story. Now, if you're asking me how can I do this in one picture, or one can draw up a picture that tries to tell the story, but there's still going to be a lot of errors. There's a lot of things happening.
Might be
But I
better
think
with a video.
when you was explaining like this, we